of the biggest and most interesting people we've ever spoken to. And we're revisiting possibly one of the most surreal and memorable hours of my life when I sat down with the one and only Courtney Love.
Oh, make me over.
Her career spans 25 years of rock as a frontwoman, songwriter, and, well, it's impossible to do this without saying, as the wife of arguably one of the most famous frontmen of the past quarter of a century, she's back with a new double A-sided single and is currently in the middle of a UK solo tour as well. She's no stranger to controversy, is seemingly afraid of absolutely nothing. Courtney Love, welcome.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me to your planet.
It's wonderful you've got new material out.
Yeah, that is something for people to talk about instead of whether I ate a burrito or a taco.
You've got live dates coming up as well.
Yeah, I'm so excited about that, yeah.
I always, whenever I've seen you play live, and whenever I think of you, I almost think of you as a live performer before anything else because you are so powerful on stage.
Thank you.
As a girl, I'm saying that, but if I was a boy, I think I'd say the same too. It's nothing to do with your sex. It's to do with
it's not.
Your power.
Actually, and I'm a feminist, as I know, because I refer to myself as a front man.
Yeah.
And other people refer to me as a front man. Like, she's a good front man.
But I think often when a girl fronts a rock band, it becomes an issue. It shouldn't, but it does become an issue because it's almost like she's good. She's a girl, but she's good.
I think I became the issue. I think I pioneered the issue to an extent more than almost anyone. I mean, let's look at a band like Evanescence, who I don't even like, but I get why people like them. Like, she can really, really sing and da-da-da. Chick front person. My first band was Faith No More. They really, really wanted to open for Metallica. That was where they were going. Even though the first hit was We Care a Lot, it was still, they were going to get, I actually got kicked out, for they didn't want a chick singer because it didn't fit in with the Metallica thing. So Faith No More was a good lesson in what I didn't want.
Okay, that's an interesting way to put it.
We were getting really big on our own terms in San Francisco, but they really wanted to open for Metallica, and so they wanted to change the energy up.
I actually don't know the answer to this question. How did you first get caught by rock and roll? Can you remember when you first thought, I want to do that?
Yeah, well, I wanted to act. I wanted to go to RADA or RSC, but when it happened for real is when I went off to Dublin. I had talked to a very small trust fund, not that small because they could afford to allow me to go into Trinity College in Dublin. And that lasted 2 semesters. I had a copy of Patti Smith's Babel. I had a copy of Xena Cervenka and Lydia Lunch's Adulteresses Anonymous. And this had all been given to me by a counselor at the Borstal, who had come back from Britain. And he'd come back from Britain with Horses by Patti Smith and Pretenders, Pretenders. And that's when it happens. And then now we're about 3 years later. So I was about 12 when he came back from Britain. And I went, okay, kiss RADA goodbye. We're going to go on the rock star thing. And when I went to Dublin and I actually did it, it was a lot to do with the fact that I'd heard I Will Follow by U2. And I followed.
That is a great song.
I actually went and went to be a sort of U2 ligger and succeeded. I had taken a course in Portland, the Rose City School of Engineering. It's no longer there because I asked and told this to the New York Times. They checked and there's no more Rose City School of Engineering. So as a joke, my whole tech crew on my last album got jackets and T-shirts that said Rose City School of Engineering. It really existed. I really went. It was weekends, and I went for a month. So I got like 6 days in, and then I just got bored. But I wanted to be the first. I wanted to be the first big female producer for about a minute. I also wanted to be a DJ for about a minute, but I really put some time and energy into recording. So I was in the studio in Windmill Lane near Drogheda for our U2's October for about 5-6 days. And then I got fired. Yeah. And I was flat-chested, had a big nose. I was a mascot. I wasn't a groupie. I was a mascot. It just didn't click. I got fired and I didn't have another job, and this was interning anyway.
Yeah.
So I met Julian Cope of the Teardrop Explodes. he gave me the key to he was on tour, and he gave me the key to his squad, beautiful squad in Toxteth in
Was this
Liverpool
in
8.
Liverpool? Right,
Yeah, it was in
right.
Liverpool 8.
And the sky was made.
I want to start at the beginning of the 90s, sort of right before you made an impact, really, on the music scene.
Yeah, well, the start of the 90s for me is in 1989, Dancing on the Pole, To Pour Some Sugar on Me and Sweet Child of Mine. And those are two, Sweet Child of Mine was so long, they actually put out a stripper's version for the jukeboxes. They really did. You can ask Slash. It's absolutely true.
Really?
Because Sweet Child of Mine runs at like 6 minutes. But Sweet Child of Mine, and Pour Some Sugar on Me. Pour Some Sugar on Me to this day. Hit me like a bomb, a bomb, a bomb, boom, boom. And you hit the pole. Mm-hmm. I've seen a million strippers do it every time I take my boys to a strip club or go to a strip club. And then strippers all know I stripped. So I'm this patron saint of strippers, and they'll give me their demos or whatever. But there's rules to stripping. In 1989, one of the things I had to do that was mortifying, I have no problem dancing naked, but what was mortifying was dancing to Epic by Faith No More, because I'd been in that band. And so they had the #1 song in America. That's how 1990 kicked off for me. And I was like, okay, I've got to get signed in 6 months. Mm-hmm. That's what I've got to do. I can't move to Seattle. If I move to Seattle, I'm going to die. I can smell the heroin in the air. You could actually, I got off the Greyhound bus when I came back from Alaska. I went on a sabbatical and took 3 months in Alaska because I was 23 and I had to be a rock star by the time I was 25, or I had no plan B. So I'd have probably jumped off a roof, or I had no there was no backup plan, which I think is the way it should be. You know, I mean, I, with all due respect, I love Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine. He's got a lovely wife, Denise, who's gorgeous, and he's gorgeous, and I actually have a crush on him. He went to Harvard. So I love that he's a great guitar player who went to Harvard, and he's brilliant, and it shows. But he also didn't have a plan B. Like, you know, I don't know his total story. I need to know him more. But my point being, there's no plan B. So there's no net. And the 90s starts for me with like, okay, I'm going to make LA as cool as Seattle's getting right now. How am I going to do that with all of this Tie Me Down, Bordello, Guns N' Roses, Poodle Rock, you know, that Nirvana song, millions of gallons of alcohol running through the Sunset Strip, Pay to Play, Poison, you know, White Snake, you know, and I had to dance to a lot of it. So dancing to that all day made me really averse to it at night. And I'd say the only other band, and we're very, very different with very different careers, but the only other band that was uniquely forged out of that scene, there were three, Jane's and Chili Peppers. Without them, I wouldn't be sitting here. So without Flea giving me the rehearsal studio, without Dave giving me guitar lessons and loaning me his Fender Twin Reverb, which he doesn't like, you know, I'd be nowhere.
Courtney Love's my guest, and she sat here. Now, there's no denying that to my generation, you were the girl rock star that we all had to read about, had to listen to, etc. But now we really don't see so much rock in the sort of mainstream as we did then. We're going to hear some of your new material later, but I just wanted to quote Trent Reznor, who we can talk about in a minute as well, from Nine Inch Nails. He said in a new interview recently that he thinks that rock's become stale, and that's why dance music and hip-hop has sort of taken over as being the more exciting and innovative genre to watch. I'm kind of interested on your take on that.
Ian Astbury did an interview in Esquire, which I loved, which he talked about the word rock star being bandied about by like Kanye. Kanye is not a rock star. He's a rap star. And Kanye actually has this quote where he goes, I'm Axl Rose, I'm Kurt Cobain, I'm a rock star. Look, the video with Kim Kardashian, I totally get in fashion, what he's doing is on the cutting edge. It's what's cool in fashion right now. But it's Kanye and Kim. You can't go up the mountain that way. And and it's not a song.
No.
But this is like, oh, baby.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm really fashion oriented and I'm very much in touch with the fashion thing and have a fashion line of my own. in the States. It's a website called Dolls Kill, and it's what my daughters, what Frances wears, it's what Miley wears. It's that look. It's like crazy leggings and like a cartoon character kind of thing. And my stuff is a lot more romantic, and I mean, all of this is vintage, as you can see.
Absolutely.
But it's like kind of replicating this and then adding a modern edge to it and making it more, cool and whatever, but not like fluoros or anything like that. It's more, I have to do it in China. I'm not Victoria Beckham. I'm not making everything super fancy. I'd love to have that opportunity, but, no, I love fashion. So, that's part of being a girl too.
I am doll eyes. Someday you will ache like I ache.
It is almost time to wrap things up, and I would love to spend more time. We've sort of got stuck in the 90s, really, but we have to get to talking about your tour and the new single. We're going to play You Know My Name. The track is a double A side with Wedding Day. So tell us about them both, and why is there two?
I put out Wedding Day and I played it for radio and they loved it. But radio came back and said, it's alternative. This is not going mainstream. I'm not looking for Adele success here.
And the thing about both of those singles, when I heard them, it's like, oh, this is Courtney back to sounding like You Should Do.
It's fast, it's hard, it's screaming. The video is kind of a take on Marie Antoinette trashing the room, basically. And we had 10 cents, and 10 cents, a fairly good DP and whatnot. So it's not, if you're looking for a Gaga video or a Rihanna video or a Beyonce video, we don't have that kind of money. It's rock and roll. They don't give that kind of money to us. I'd love it if they did, but they don't. But I mean, the good thing about the music industry is that it sorts out the men from the boys. I mean, in this band now, I have Ginger Wildheart. Ginger gave a great interview to something like Uncut or something last month about how you can make a living with 10,000 fans. And the music has to be the first thing. With me, the music is the first thing, but I do like acting and I do like fashion. So, I'm a girl. I don't sleep with not that Ginger does, but I have some people that I know that sleep with a different girl every night or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So it's, you're well dressed. It's about we're girls. I want to get my hair done.
Courtney, I've never had an hour of my life like I just had.
Oh, why are you saying that?
Because that was just a wonderful hour to spend with Courtney Love. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you too.